Okay, my first question for you is why this paper, why now?
So this paper, because it comes from two members of the military who don't have a political axe to grind and who are really thinking about their country. I mean, they are people who've willing to put their lives on their line for their country, and they're thinking hard about where we need to go. It's not a sophisticated academic analysis. It's a real story from the heart in many ways about where the United States needs to go in the world and how we have to get there. Why now? Today is the day that the government's about to shut down. If there were no more better evidence of why we need to have a national conversation around where this country is and where it's going in the world, I don't know what's a better example than being in Washington today.
Historically, what are the best examples of where these ideas come from or where these narratives are built? Steve Clemons mentioned the Eisenhower exercise. Now we have something that's percolating up from a different place. Is this how it happens? Can an idea from two serving military men who got together and wrote a paper be the catalyst for building the national security narrative we need?
That's actually a great example of how the world has changed, because I think it's true in the late 1940s the narrative was much more top-down. So you needed a George Kennan, who after all is director of policy planning, had been in the embassy, really a life foreign service officer. Then you need President Eisenhower having the solarium debates. Today, I think the narrative can come from many different places. It comes from two serving members of the military, but it's picked up by me when I was the director of policy planning at State, by Tom Friedman, who's a New York Times columnist, by other people here, Jane Harman among them, David Absher. So I think the combination of something coming up more from the grassroots, but then having a number of people willing to amplify those voices, that can launch a national conversation in ways that probably wasn't possible immediately after World War II.
One final thought on process. You know, when Congresswoman Harman came here, one of the first vision statements she made to us was about this desire to create some kind of a format and forum for these tough questions that aren't discussed elsewhere in a nonpartisan manner. So you were part of the first national conversation. How about a reaction to that? How did you think it went?
I thought it was great. The chance to be able to have such a range of people, from Brent Scowcroft to Bob Kagan to Steve Clemons to Keith Ellison as a congressman, it was a wonderful chance to really push on some issues that we don't normally push on. We had a discussion about really a conversation about cutting the defense budget that, as I said from the podium, Democrats are very nervous about having, and yet I think we have to have. So if this forum can be a place where people feel more free to say things that they normally self-censor, that's exactly the kind of role the Woodrow Wilson Center should be playing.
Thanks, Emily.